Welcome back to Healthy Home. So today we're going to talk about anxiety. And there's just so many stressors and pressures every day to measure up and to be perfect and to be productive, by standards of what, are set for everyone. And so everyone doesn't always fit into that box, and it can be, hard in the age of reality TV, which isn't really reality, and social media, where, you only see one part of a puzzle or one piece of a pie. You don't see the whole thing. And so, it can be, I think it is extremely hard for those of this generation. And as the generations progress, this is just something that's going to be on the tip of everyone's tongue. It's going to be something that is discussed. If I think about my mom's time or my grandmother's time as they were growing up, you didn't hear about things like depression or anxiety or things like that as much, especially my grandma's time. That just wasn't something that if you said, oh, I'm depressed or whatever, you wouldn't be met with compassion on it. It's just like, get over it. And so I think it is good, though, that it is being talked about, and me time and self love and self care is becoming so much more prevalent too at the same time, because it really is necessary. And so this video is going to be talking about anxiety. And so the first thing I want to say is, before going into herbs or anything like that, the first thing is to identify or, assess the situation and see what's causing the anxiety in the first place. Because if you can eliminate the reason why, then you're going to be better. You'll be able to deal with it better if you didn't have the added stress, every day or every time that this happens, if it is something that you can control. So if it's not, if it's something like, your job, your boss or someone or something like that that you can't get around or avoid, then you need to look at yourself and see how can you better respond to that stressor. And so, maybe it's just seeing how, okay, so I know that this happens and it makes me feel like this, and so I can do X, Y, Z. And so it's important to also know that, we do control our thoughts, we do control our actions, we do control the things that we say and do. And so you have to also make sure that you say, okay, I know that this is a stressor for me. I know that this is a trigger for me. And so when that happens, I need to do this. I need to tell the people around me, if they're the ones causing it, I need to tell them this. I need to, cool off. I need to take a deep breath. I need to do, whatever it is that will make you not be reactionary, make you be proactive and eliminate the added stress in your body. And then the third thing is to seek help if you need to. I know a lot of people say they can't afford this or that. Health should always be number one. And it's like, can you afford years off of your life? Can you afford have a heart attack or a stroke or all of these things that can be due to these external factors? Can you afford that? You can afford, a doctor's visit or whatever it is, or herbs or medicines, whatever it is. You can always find the money and time for things that you need. So that's how I want to start off this video, because I don't want it to just be solely just take something. I want you to also get into the mindset or the habit of trying to work from the inside out. So here are the herbs I'm going to be talking about today. I just chose 3 and needed, to be basic. I didn't want it to be overwhelming. And these are not totally expensive herbs. They're not the most expensive top of the line herbs. So let's start over here. So this is motherwort. So Leonaris cardiaca. It's in the mint family. It's very bitter, aromatic, bitter. And so this is a heart tonic. So it's really strengthening to the heart. And so I love it because it's really for those who have like rapid heartbeat. If you have heart palpitations, this would be your go-to out of some of the other cardiac tonics. One of the things though about this is that it is really bitter, and so it's not the best in teas unless you're really formulating it to have other herbs that are going to taste better, and it's going to lessen some of that bitterness. But this is a very strong bitter, and it even gives your mouth a certain feeling when you take it. So this is best taken as a tincture or in capsules. But the way I like to have it is in a tincture. I'll just share a short story. I'm a person who has a sweet tooth, but I don't keep any sweets in the house because, I don't want to be eating them. And so my husband bought this bag of chocolates, and I don't remember the name, but it had like caramel inside and all that, and they're individually wrapped. I think it's something with a G or something. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But the serving size was like 2 or 3, and I took 5 or 6. I just tell myself sometimes I'll stress eat or say, "Oh, you deserve it." So I ate a whole bunch of them, and I guess the caffeine, because I don't drink coffee, my body is very reactionary. It lets me know if it doesn't like something, and immediately. And so my heart started beating, and so I just went to the kitchen. I got myself a tincture, took some, just okay, calm down, like that. And so that helped me. And so I want that to be the first one because, I've witnessed it myself that it does work and work for myself. And so what I did was I got these very small droppers, and they're like a 6 and an ounce. And so I filled some with that. I gave some to my mom as well. And it's also good to take with you in your little first aid kit, your own herbal first aid kit for feeling anxiety or rapid heartbeat, whether it's controllable or not. Like for me, it was from a reaction of caffeine, but you can do the same thing with stress or whatever. And so that's the first one that I want to talk about. The next one I want to talk about is rose. And so I have these rose buds and petals, and I'll have to get more to fill up this jar. But I love this because they're really tasty, gentle, not many contraindications, any of these. But I love this, we even use it on our creams because it's really astringent, and so it helps with healing and firming. And so that's why it's used in like wrinkle creams, etc. But then it's also cooling to the skin, and you see the red color, but it also helps with the redness on the skin. And that red just lets us know that it's also useful for the blood, for the heart. And so it is wonderful also for the heart as well. But also, this is associated with like romance and love, buying rose petals in the bath. It's just, really romantic. And so it kind of has that like, that soothing comfort to the heart as well. So that's why I really love rose. And so I'm going to be working on making an extract with this to use in cooking. I think that'll be really nice. Like we use vanilla extract or almond extract or whatever. So I really would love to use this, and maybe some chocolatey goods that I make because, I do eat my own sweetened with dates or whatever, my own sweet treats. And I just think that it would be a really nice addition. So those are the beautiful rose buds. And then the last one I want to talk about, this is Milky Oats. So these are the green oat tops. Oat straw is really wonderful as well. I love to mix the two together. But this one is actually useful for mild depression, and it's it's food for your nervous system. So it's restorative and regenerative. And so I just love it because you're not just, working on this time when you're feeling it at this moment. It's also using it over and over. It will help strengthen you over time. And so, our nerves are really important. And so it's really wonderful to balance not only the heart, but also the nerves. When you're going through anxiety, it's affecting both. And so I just love, all of these herbs. And these are not your most expensive herbs. The rose petals, when I'm buying them organic, is a little bit more. And you can get buds and petals like I did, and it's a bit cheaper. Motherwort is not very expensive. Milky Oats, you'll get a lot for, like if you buy 4 ounces or so, you'll get 4 ounces will be enough to fill up this jar, and maybe even more. And so that'll run you about $15 or so. And so they're not super expensive, and they're going to last for a long time. And you are worth it. Your mental physical is worth the investment. So if you are one who suffers from anxiety, it may be good for you to look into using herbs as teas, but also as medicine when needed. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Let me know if it was down below. And if you made it to the end, thank you so much. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.